Thank you. D-O-Y, Doy. That's the first word I ever learned to write in English. So I'm standing in front of my second grade classroom with a sheet of paper with the word Doy written on it. Doy. And Mrs. Shanazi, our homeroom teacher, looks at me and she said, "What about your last name?" See, I don't even know what last name means, but I look around the room and I notice everybody has 2 lines of names, and I put 2 and 2 together. See, my last name is 15 letters. And for an 8-year-old boy who just moved from Thailand to the United States and barely knows a word of English, that was not going to happen. And I hear my classmates laughing, and my teacher's frantically looking through the class roster, and she realizes, "Okay, you're fine, sit down." And I go home that night and I tell my mom how horrible the first day of school is. Everybody was able to write their name except for me. What would you like to do about that? So I said, "Mom, I want to be able to write my name just like everybody else, just like everybody else." So she took a notepad and a pencil and we got to work. Charnsupharindr. Charnsupharindr. Whew. All I know is that by the end of the night, I have something that starts with a C and has 15 letters, and I'm happy. And I look up and my mom is smiling at me. She says, "Today is the day you learn to write your name. And for the rest of your life, this will be a part of your life story." She told me that in life, there are things that happen to you all the time. But what will become your life story is what you choose to do when those things happen. That is the story you get to tell people one day. So 10 years later, I'm thinking it's time for a new chapter in my life. So this time is going to be about a young man who moves away from his homeland and travels the world to find his own destiny. So at 17, I leave Thailand to move back to the United States for the second time in my life, except alone. And this time I'm going to be prepared. But I didn't have the internet to go look up role models for what high school in America is like. So where do I go? TV, film. So imagine this. I show up to my first day of high school dressed up from head to toe like Brandon Walsh from Beverly Hills 90210. And I'd grown my hair out just about this long just to look like that cool guy from the Breakfast Club. I even perfected my American accent. Yo. Cool, man. Dude, it was ridiculous. But it worked. All the guys like me, the girls love me, and I am loving it. I have finally arrived, and this is what it feels like to fit in. This is what it feels like to be normal. And I'm not about to let that stop. So what's next? I'll graduate from college, move to the city, get a great job, marry the girl of my dream, live in a beautiful home, maybe 2 or 3 kids, 2 dogs, happily ever after. Just a normal guy living the perfect dream. Except there was one problem. I wasn't really interested in looking for the girl of my dream. See, I was looking for the man of my dream. No, whoa. That's not how the story is supposed to go. That's not how this is supposed to end. And I have spent way too long of my life trying to have that perfect story for me to ruin it now. So what do? I try to ignore it. And when ignoring doesn't work, then I try to change it, fix it, and hide it. And I look around for examples, try to find who I should be, what I should do, and how I should feel. And the more I try to do that, the more I felt further and further away from feeling normal. Until one day, I heard this soft voice. What do you want to do about that? What do you want to do about that? What's the story you want to be able to tell? And I said, I want to tell the truth. And it was not easy. I remember the conversation with my mother. You know, she's looking at me and she's saying, it's okay, everything will be okay. But I see the concern all over her face. Concern for me, concern for the future that she's afraid I'll never have, and even concern for my father. The one thing she asked was, you know, I'm not sure Pop would understand, so for now, just keep it between us, okay? So I didn't say a word. Until about a year later, I get this phone call. My mom's like, I finally did it. I finally told him. Oh. What did he say? Well, that makes sense. Wait, what? No anger, no frustration, no emotional breakdown, just that makes sense? Those were probably the most powerful words my father could have said. And for the first time in my young adult life, I finally felt normal. And normal not because I was like other people, but normal for being exactly who I was. And so I think about that 8-year-old boy who wanted nothing more than just to be like everybody else. Or that teenager who said, you know, I'm just going to change everything just so I can fit in with everybody. And I just want to tell them, you know, you're going to be okay. Just keep being yourself and tell your story, the real story. Because I promise you that at the end of the day, that is the only story that will truly make sense. Thank you.